What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here with the Awesemo channel, and we are going to be talking some Week 11 college football prize picks. We have football nearly every day of the week from here on out, with Tuesday action, Wednesday action, our Thursday and Friday night games. So Prize Picks has you covered, and we're going to be diving into some player props. Before we get there, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. Diving into Prize Picks, we're going to hit a lot of overs today, and we're going to start with some rushing numbers. Beginning with the Tuesday games, we have an option here to take a back for Western Michigan in either Ladarius Jefferson or Sean Tyler. Sean Tyler is projected for 76.5. Ladarius Jefferson is projected for 64.5. This is a Western Michigan team taking on Akron, one of the worst teams in the country, a team that just fired their head coach, and a team that allows over 240 rushing yards per game, one of the worst marks in the entire country. You have Western Michigan as a 26-point favorite, which points to positive game script and extra rushing attempts. On the year, Sean Tyler has been more efficient than Ladarius Jefferson, but it's a spot where both backs are averaging a lot of touches. Jefferson is averaging 16.8 and Sean Tyler is averaging 15.0. So this Western Michigan team is already trying to run the ball. They have about a 44% pass rate, so well below average there. And then they're running so many raw plays, 79 per game, which is near the top of the country, that both of these backs could potentially get there. Again, Tyler's been more efficient this year, but Jefferson actually has the edge and opportunity. So such an efficient matchup on deck against Akron. Seeing Jefferson come in at 64.5 is just a little bit too low here. Looking at the over on his prop makes a lot of sense. Sticking with the run game, we're going to move to Wednesday games and hit Toledo taking on Bowling Green with Bryant Koback. So this is another game with a really interesting matchup. Toledo, surprisingly, is only a 9.5-point favorite here. Either way, that bodes well for extra rushing attempts. And then similar to the Akron situation we just mentioned, Bowling Green has been brutal on the ground. They're allowing 209 rushing yards per game, another one of these teams that is among the worst in the country on run defense. Toledo is a little bit above average in terms of pass rate and plays per game. We have seen them give Bryant Koback a healthy workload. He is averaging nearly 18 touches per game, over 90 yards on the ground, and now we are lining it up with pure efficiency against a very weak Bowling Green defense. The only other back in this backfield is Micah Kelly, and he's just handling change of pace opportunities. So this is a spot where we can buy low on Koback and hit the over on 93.5 rushing yards for him too, based on matchup. A lot of very strong MAC teams playing some weak MAC teams this week. Sticking with the Friday games, we're going to head over to some receiving props. And there's an interesting buy low situation for Central Michigan, where you have a big discrepancy between Khalil Pimpleton at 89.5 receiving yards and Ja'Cory Sullivan at 62.5. This over here makes a lot of sense to me. These players are essentially on the field for the same amount of time on any given week. And now you have a game against Kent State with a 72-point total. Kent State's pass defense is among the worst in the country. They're allowing nearly 320 passing yards per game. Now, Kent State not good against the run either, but the Central Michigan team is extremely up-tempo. They run 76 plays per game, and they're passing 55% of the time. So I want to highlight this elevated pass rate for Central Michigan lines up with the biggest weakness for Kent State's defense, which is something we could take advantage of here. Again, these two receivers have essentially the same opportunity in the offense. It's just that last week you saw Khalil Pimpleton really get there on special teams, 2 kick return touchdowns, which also limited the offense, and we didn't see as many plays there. But even going back last year, you had Khalil Pimpleton, Ja'Cory Sullivan basically functioning as the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. It's a spot where you can definitely buy low on Sullivan here, going back to a player who's been extremely active in this receiving room going on 2 years now. And our final prop, we are going to head to Thursday's game and take a look at a passing prop. Thursday is a standalone game. It's Pittsburgh taking on North Carolina, but you have Sam Howell projected for 261.5 yards. Again, this Pittsburgh defense has been good, but we're expecting a lot of points here. 75-point over-under. North Carolina, they are 6-point underdogs, which means they should be throwing the ball. They've been using Howell a ton as a rusher. Howell has been over 100 yards multiple times this year. He already has 699 on the ground, but I want to highlight Howell as a passer. He's still throwing the ball 30 times per game. He's still averaging nearly 268 yards. And then this Pittsburgh defense is very strong against the run. They're barely allowing 100 yards per game. And their weakness is against the pass, where they're allowing about 260. So this is a spot where perhaps Pittsburgh's defense, the strength against the run, can mitigate what Howell does on the ground, and then he has to lean more on the pass. Again, game script also projects to favor the pass here. They have alpha receiver Josh Downs to lean on, who's averaging over 100 yards per game. 261.5 yards is just too low for Sam Howell in a game that has a 75-point total overall. But that will do it for us today at the Awesemo channel. Thank you again to our friends at PrizePicks. Let me know in the comment section your favorite PrizePicks this week. I'm Matt Gajewski on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Hit the thumbs up button on the way out. And thanks again, guys. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you again next time.